Welcome back. It's time now to get you all our CNBC Market Wallas and chart experts for trading strategies for the day, for the week, for the month, for the contract. Sudarshan Sukhani joins us first up. Mayuresh Joshi of Angel Broking and Hemant Takrar are also with us. Good morning to all three of you, gentlemen. Sudarshan, let me start with you. You know that resistance at 7950 is there. But the market's still fairly cheerful with advances more than declining stocks. Long on the Nifty today?
Good morning. We all see charts in different ways.
Yes.
I don't have, on my charts, there is no resistance at 7950.
Okay.
So we'll keep that aside. At 7850, we said go long in the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. That view still remains. The trade is to put a stop loss and say this is the point at which we go wrong. Fortunately, still till now the stop losses have not been triggered. The stop losses are luckily even being raised and trailed upward. So at the current levels, we keep a tight stop at 7900, which means that this trade will make money no matter what. Stay on the long side. We are on the verge of breaking out. 8000 is a minor resistance, which is where the Nifty is now likely to stall, but even that is not considerate. The market is going in a narrow range because it's going in a narrow range, and not because of any significant movement on the charts otherwise. So stay long in the Bank Nifty, and in most of the stocks the same suggestion applies.
And the stop loss is 7850.
No, the stop losses are trailed to 7900. We have a tight stop loss. The Nifty has been moving in a narrow range for the last 2 days.
Okay.
Narrow range are usually precursors for big moves. Now, Lata, it's anybody's guess. I am assuming the big move will come on the upside, but what if it doesn't? So below 7900, the message will be that the upside is the uptrend, or the big move is not coming on the upside.
Okay, fair enough. Sudarshan, hi, good morning. Let's start off with some of the stocks that you have recommended for us. One of them is HDFC Bank. If I remember what you taught us at the investor camp correctly, this is one stock that has been in a range for very long, and you expect the stock to break out of the range anytime soon?
Well, yes, you're right. It is not really teaching you, just sharing with you, Sonia. All right. But you're absolutely right. This is not a breakout trade in the sense that will be a much longer trade. But I mean, that will be something very significant. But HDFC Bank, after a correction, is now rising. That correction also led to a V-shaped rally, which then went into a consolidation. Briefly, the stock is going up. The Bank Nifty is looking cheerful. I would be a buyer in HDFC Bank.
What about Asian Paints? Are you as convinced?
Well, I think so. Asian Paints had a down day 2 days ago, and then yesterday it recovered from that down day. That's good news. There's a strong V-shaped rally. I don't like V-shaped rallies, but sometimes we have to take what the market is giving us. It's now in some kind of a trading range. The momentum is on the upside. FMCG stocks are likely to outperform, so I would be there.
Okay, the other buy that you have this morning is Shriram Transport Finance. What are the targets there?
See, Shriram Transport Finance had a deep correction. First a rally, and then that rally almost finished away when the correction came back to the lows. So this is more of a hope trade, but I think that correction is getting over. The signs are there was a very big range bar on the upside. 3 days ago it had a handsome rally. That tells us that the correction is over. After the rally there is a pause. We are entering into a pause, anticipating that the rally will continue. So Shriram Transport is it's a reversal trade. Reversals are always a little difficult to trade, but they're also much more profitable because we are buying at the lows.
Yeah, I remember you being negative on Shriram Transport for a goodish bit. Well, Voltas, it appears like a double bottom is in place. Is that a slightly more, bettable buy?
Voltas is a positional trade. You buy Voltas, the bad side of the charts is over. It's on the left side. Now the future seems to be much brighter. The sharp rally could stall. It could also continue. I'm assuming it will continue even if we have some narrow range days. It's rather than a day trade, is something you want to build a position in, and the chances are that this position will make money in the next 3 months.
Okay. And Z Entertainment, how strong is that?
But that's very good. It's been an outperformer. So it's a very simple trade. You look at the charts, compare it with the Nifty, and you find that Z has been a distinct outperformer. Outperforming stocks continue. And then a deep correction was a buying opportunity. After that, the rally that we are now seeing has taken a pause for 3 days. Pauses are again buying opportunities for good stocks. So go and buy Z like Voltas. You don't have to get out in the evening or tomorrow. You could actually carry this position for some time.
Okay, and finally, to balance all of this, you have one sell call, which is Adani Ports.
That's a disappointment. I've been very upbeat on Adani Ports, and the prices keep on coming down. It's remarkable. That's how the markets work. And Adani, after a consolidation, and I thought, wow, this consolidation is now going to end up in a rally. It's ended up in a breakdown of prices. That's bad. Lower levels are coming. I'm very surprised. The charts, we have to listen to the charts.
I agree with you. Well, we are coming back to you for a lot more stocks. Sudarshan, let me invite our other guests as well into this conversation. Well, before I get to Mayuresh on some fundamental questions on especially the auto sales, Hemant, take on the Nifty, how do you trade it?
See, morning Lata. Lata again, basically more or less view is matching with Sudarshan. I was just overhearing him. We are still playing positive on Nifty. Reasons, the volatility, the VIX is coming off the table, and it's actually now coming off for across global markets. US volatility is also coming off. So it's showing now the signs of base formation, and base formation will be violated if 7880 is violated. So till that it is trading above that, you will trade with a positive bias, and the immediate resistance we see at 8030, 8050. But important is that it should sustain above 8000. See what happened yesterday in Nifty future. Moment it tried to go to 8005, there was some selling pressure. So if it is sustaining above 8000, I think you will see more short covering coming in. And after 8030, 8050, the next target is 8150. But I think crucial point would be to sustain above 8000 today.
Okay, so to sustain above 8000 would be the crucial point. But let's get some strategies in terms of individual stocks, Hemant. CEAT is one stock that you've picked up. Fundamentally as well, things are going right for it. Technically, how does it look?
See, again, basically this stock, if we see what has happened yesterday, huge open interest has been added up, around 12% OI added. In fact, Apollo Tyre also saw some buying. So both tire stocks saw some buying, but it has seen good open interest being built up, and the stock technically has managed now 1040 is crossed. The main thing is the premium has increased from cash to future. So a lot of long positions have been built up. So it's heading towards that 1085, 1090, which is the next major resistance for CEAT. On the downside, keep a stop loss of 1025. I think now it should not be breached. So it's a good pick for traders for next 2 to 3 trading sessions.
Okay, hold on, Hemant. We're coming back to you in a minute. Let me welcome Mayuresh Joshi. Mayuresh, good morning. The two-wheeler numbers, they've disappointed. TVS, you could give the excuse of monsoon. No excuses for Hero Moto. Did we overestimate them? With the entire bunch be downbeat?
Morning, Lata. I think clearly, I think the way the festive season has panned out, and clearly, I think if you look at the inherent sales before that, again, I think the point to be taken here is how rural demand will pan out going forward. Now, I was hearing the M&M management, and again, I think the numbers that M&M posted on the tractor side were exceptional. But would that continue over a period of time? I think that is to be seen for two basic reasons. I think the deficient monsoons probably have created a lack of discretionary spending, because I think the realizations probably have not come through on the rural side. And again, I think the MSP price increases have not been great. Now, Hero Moto probably around 30-40% comes through from the rural side. So clearly, the effect that we're probably working with the festive season, our belief is that it might not continue going forward, and it might have a consolidated period of sluggish sales. Having said that, probably I think you can leave aside the exception of TVS Motors, but clearly I think the two-wheeler sales have been a little bit tepid. And again, I think a lot of managements had put forth the contention of a volume growth of 5 to 6%. So if you go by those basic assumptions, you will see for the latter half of FY16, the sluggishness in two-wheeler sales still continuing.
Alright, so sluggishness continues. Mayuresh, hi, morning. But from the auto space, you have picked up one stock for the longer term investor, and that's Forgings. What kind of an upside do you see in the near term?
Good morning, Sonia. I think clearly if you look at the business verticals of Forgings, I think clearly it caters to the automobile industry. And again, I think in terms of segmental contributions, oil and engineering products and off-highways contribute around 22%. The automobile segment itself contributes around 78%. Now, the management has been extremely cautious in increasing its capacity from 40,000 MT to 65,000 odd MT. And they've done that in phases to take care of how the sales numbers and the top line is growing, and they do not want to lag behind in terms of how their capacity utilization levels are panning out. Again, clearly in terms of how sales are panning out, I think 72% of its top line comes in from exports, and it caters to the CV industry. Now, in terms of a geographical presentation, US contributes almost 39.3%, Europe contributes 10.6%, and Europe CV sales have seen some amount of uptake, specifically in countries like UK, Spain, Italy. When it comes to the US region has held up pretty well, and if one really assumes and goes by the data points out there, we presume that the CV sales will see a humongous amount of an uptrend going forward. Clearly, I think if you talk about how the EBITDA margins will pan out for the company, our own take is with commodity prices coming down, the EBITDA margins should be in the 21.6 to 22% kind of range. And if you look at the top line, the management, again, as I said, and we've taken a very conservative approach in assuming top line growth of 10.6% on the CAGR basis over the next couple of years, close to that 615 odd crore mark. And clearly, I think the profitability margins should improve to that 11% mark. The debt equity ratio, which stands at 0.4, with improving cash flows and because of the rupee depreciation, will have an impounding effect in terms of how top line realizations will improve. So again, I think the bottom line should come anywhere close to 6-7 odd crores, and valuation wise it's looking extremely attractive. So if I do a comparison check with Ramkrishna Forgings on an EV to sales of 1.4, Forgings compared with Ramkrishna Forgings at 2.4 times EV to sales looks quite attractive. So on a price equity comparison, I think at 9.3 times look extremely lucrative. So I think any decline from the current level, I think becomes a good buying opportunity. We've got a target of 614 over the next 12 months.
Okay, coming back to you for more such solid picks, Mayuresh. Sudarshan, I wanted to ask you about the commodity stocks. Is there a minor play in it? I mean, we've seen commodities kind of raise their head a bit after repeated blows in the global markets as well. Would you play Vedanta, Tata Steel just for an intraday or for a very, very short term?
Well, all the three stocks, Tata Steel, Hindalco, Vedanta, are giving very minor signs of at least holding to their support, the new support levels at the lower end. Do you want to trade these on the long side? If a trader wants to, he can. I mean, at least they are not negative anymore for intraday trading. But because there are other opportunities in IT, in pharma, which I think is now coming up, in the banking, NBFC sectors, there's a choice. But to answer your question, it is possible to go long in these stocks if you are an intraday trader.
Okay. Well, Hemant, coming back to some of the other stocks that you have picked up for us, from the oil marketing company space, you've picked up BPCL to buy today. In fact, you know, these are the stocks that had a really good run yesterday. You expect some follow-on buying there?
Yes, Sonia. In fact, even if we see the medium-term charts of these stocks, they have been phenomenally being strong. But what we have seen now that after a big consolidation, they have started seeing the OI built up, which was missing up. So traders have started entering. So Hindustan Petroleum, IOC, BPCL, I just picked up because it saw the highest open interest yesterday. And even in fact, again, the future premium has increased, which is clearly giving signal that people have gone long in this counter. And now the stock is clearly sustaining above that 925, 930 band. So we are keeping a tight stop loss of 915 to 920, which this is the band which is of a very strong support, and we feel that BPCL can retest 965, 970 on the upside. But all the three OMCs has seen buying. I would rank BPCL, HPCL, IOC. That would be the ranking, but BPCL we prefer because of the OI that has been added up in the stock.
Fair point, Hemant. Mayuresh, let me come to you for the other stock that you have picked, Visakha Industries, some building material company, right? Cement sheets.
Oh yes, Lata, and if you look at the two broad business divisions that it's got a building products division which probably makes asbestos sheets, and the other one is the synthetic yarn segment. Now clearly if you look at the business contribution in terms of top line, the synthetic yarn segment contributes around 21-22%, while the building products segment contributes close to 78% for the company. Now within the building product segment, you've got two divisions as well. So you've got the asbestos cement products and you've got the V-boards division. Now the asbestos cement products basically has been a little bit sluggish because of slowness in rural demand, as we were talking even in terms of two-wheeler sales going through. But clearly I think the market share of around 17%, the kind of dealership network that it has got would hold Vishakha Industries in good stead. Now the V-boards division is probably something that has done exceedingly well, which contributes 28% of the overall building products division pie. And clearly I think the cost advantages that it has got compared to substitute products, the increasing contribution of exports is going to hold that in good stead. Now the capacity increase also has been quite humongous. If you talk about the building products division, from 6,52,000 MT, the capacity has increased to 7,52,000 MT. And as I said, I think the increasing acceptance of the V-board division, I think that is going to have an offsetting effect in terms of the slowdown that you're probably seeing in terms of the asbestos cement product division panning out. In terms of synthetic yarn segment, it has got 55,000 odd spindles. And again, I think the export contribution with the rupee weakening against the dollar, I think that is going to have a telling effect in terms of how realizations pan out. In lieu of all this, I think the risk factor that we probably witness for the stock is in terms of raw material prices, because asbestos fiber is 100% imported, and that again will have some amount of telling effect in terms of how raw material prices will pan out, and that contribute almost 60% of the raw material contribution. However, in our estimates, we've taken a higher contribution in terms of the rupee depreciation against the dollar, and we've assumed 57% in terms of a raw material contribution to the overall top line. Having said that, again, I think the EBITDA margin expansion should be quite evident over the next 2 years, and we basically expect the EBITDA margin to settle around 10.2-10.3% by FY17. Now the capex is out of the way, the depreciation should be out of the way by FY17, and that again will have a telling effect in terms of how the bottom line will pan out, where our belief is the margin should expand from 2.1% to 4.2%. So I think the sales will grow at 8.6%, close to that 1,200 crore odd mark. The EBITDA margin expansion with operating leverage benefits kicking in, we should see a humongous improvement in the bottom line, which should come close to that 46 odd crore mark. Now if you do a comparison check and stack its peers, it trades close to 4.1 times, whereas Hyderabad Industries stays at 5.4 times. Everest possibly trades higher at 7.9 times. So clearly I think in terms of valuation and in terms of earnings per share over the next 2 years, Vishakha looks very attractively priced. So you've got a target of 144 over the next 12 months.
Okay, so that's Vishakha Industries, a long-term recommendation from Mayuresh Joshi. But getting back to some trading ideas for the day, Hemant, another stock that you've picked up from the metal space is Tata Steel. It's interesting because yesterday the metals had a very good run. Is it just an intraday call, or do you think that someone can take a positional call on the stock as well?
See, the way the open interest has been adding up, yesterday we have seen, and see, last 3 days I was seeing Jindal Steel and Power, JSW Steel adding up. Yesterday the across the board addition I could see, so I have a feeling that we may see some more run up on the upside. Yes, you may get the targets intraday also because the run up may be sharp, but I have a feeling that people can carry positional trades here. And the Tata Steel immediate resistance comes around 242, 245, and our stop loss that we have marked is 233, 234. But if it crosses 242, then I think the rally can be even going up to 252. But what I am trying to make a point is, I have a feeling that metals may not fizzle out rally in a single day. We may see some follow-up buying because now the OI addition is happening across the sector. So I think there you may see one or two sessions of follow-up buying from here on.
All right. Well, Hemant, hold on to that thought. Actually, across the board, one is seeing a bit of commodity stocks being bought all over the world. Commodities as well as commodity stocks. There is a bit of a dollar retreat story as well that's playing out, and maybe it will play out for some time now. But let's move on to one stock where there is some news-related development. Cox and Kings is the stock I'm referring to. We heard Mangalam earlier today on that.
But let's get back to our guests now. We have been in conversation.
I just wanted to ask Sudarshan if he tracks that stock. Sudarshan, any word on Cox and Kings chartically speaking?
Yeah, on the charts, the bottom is in place, and the stock should now is moving up and should continue to move up. It's an investing idea, and it's a nice mid-cap idea.
Okay, that's a good mid-cap idea, but let's hear out some more ideas from our Super 6 participants, some trading ideas for the day.
I would recommend a buy for Tata Steel today. The stock has staged great momentum yesterday, and I'm expecting it to do well even today. Targets for the day would be 242 and 246. Maintain a stop loss below 234.
My first recommendation today is buy on Hindustan Petroleum. The stock has seen good amount of pressure in last few trading sessions. It's been seeing a decent amount of long positions getting added in last few trading sessions on a consistent basis. For now, I recommend going long with this targets of 895 in this site and keeping the stop loss at 825 rupees.
Our first recommendation is buy on BPCL. See, each and every uptrending stock tends to go through period of correction or consolidation. In case of BPCL, it went through period of consolidation in last 4 months after a sharp rally from 700 to 960. This consolidation took shape of a triangle, and in Tuesday's trade, it gave a breakout from this triangle pattern. So buy BPCL for target 975, the stop loss of 910.
Buy OnMobile as well, as this stock is looking quite bullish on technical parameters. Targets for today would be 142 and 146. Maintain a stop loss below 129 for this.
My second recommendation today is buy on Sun TV. The stock has been trending, you can say, in a range. 400 has been acting as a strong resistance on multiple occasions. The stock had seen some reversals happening. Momentum indicators are buzzing. So again, all of these factors are quite positive for the stock. One can buy for targets of around about 425, keeping the stop loss at 390.
Our second recommendation is buy on Havells. Havells in last few days had been moving sideways, doing nothing much after a sharp up move in the first 3 weeks of November. We expect this stock to replicate the run-up it had in the first 3 weeks on the upside. So buy Havells for a target of 310, maintain a stop loss of 294.
No?
Right. Sorry.
Well, those were all the recommendations as far as our Super 6 contestants are concerned. But let's get back to our guests now. We have been in conversation with Sudarshan Sukhani, Mayuresh Joshi and Hemant Thukral. Sudarshan, I wanted to talk to you about some of these two-wheeler names. We were discussing how the sales have slowed down for most of them, TVS Motor, Hero MotoCorp. We haven't got Bajaj Auto's numbers just yet, but what do you do if these stocks take a beating, say, over the next fortnight or so? Do you look for opportunities to buy into them?
Yeah, absolutely, Sonia. I don't think either Bajaj Auto or TVS or Hero MotoCorp are short-selling ideas. So if the stocks are sliding down, you step aside, wait for the decline. It will be a minor correction at most. It's unlikely we are going to see a trend change from up to down. And at some point, they will become buying opportunities. These numbers will keep on coming. Sometimes they will disappoint, sometimes they will be better. But the trend is intact, which is up for all three of the stocks.
Okay. What's your pick of the pack, Mayuresh, in the auto space?
So Lata, I think if I stack it between four-wheelers and two-wheelers, on the four-wheeler side, we clearly like Maruti Suzuki, and again I think the product mix has been exceptional for Maruti. The premiumization story probably continues. The Baleno sales have been quite good for Maruti, and again if you look at the kind of expectations that one has in terms of earnings going forward, our own take is a 38-39% earnings growth is not ruled out. So any decline I think becomes a good buying opportunity for Maruti Suzuki. We remain optimistic on that space. And clearly within the two-wheeler space, Bajaj Auto is something that we like. I think the export contribution, which is around 50%, and again I think the kind of sluggishness that we've probably seen in the African markets should improve over the next few quarters. And even on the domestic side, I think the market share which it has lost, if it is able to regain that with fall in commodity prices, if the EBITDA margins are sustained around that 21% mark, I think Bajaj Auto also becomes an accumulative stock for us on every decline from the two-wheeler pack.
Okay, that's a positive note on which we can take a break. We'll have to come back, and then the pre-opening rates also will be with us. Back in a jiffy.
welcome back. There's one more minute before we get the pre-opening rates on the screen. So let's do one thing. Let's give you a quick recap of all of the stocks that Hemant Tukral has recommended for the day. He recommends buying the Nifty first up with a stop loss at 7,900 and a target of 8,150. And he has some stock-specific calls as well. He recommends buying CEAT with a stop loss of 1,029 and a target of 1,088. From the oil marketing space, BPCL was one stock that ran yesterday on the upside. He has a buy on that with a stop loss at 919 and a target of 965. And he also recommends a buy on Tata Steel from the metal space with a stop loss of 233 and a target of 242.
All right. Well, we're just a few seconds away from the pre-opening rates hitting the screen. We'll just pull up the rupee as well for you. You should see some more strength in the rupee. The rupee, after obviously a no-cut policy, strengthened a bit yesterday, and today we should see more strength there because of the dollar weakness, and that's the SGX Nifty indicating a green tick for the stock markets as well. The pre-opening rates should be with us in just a minute. Looking good on the Sensex, not the Nifty. So divergent trends over there. Why should the Nifty go down 1%? This is terribly wavered rates. So let's not read out any of them because they're horrendous. I'll just wait for the rupee rate to come by, whether the dollar weakness is casting some kind of strength on the currency as well. Not good if it is stronger, but I think it will be under the circumstances. Nifty and Sensex still showing very divergent trends. That's the rupee. Okay, opening flat. In fact, reprice weaker, but that's not saying much. Let's get back to discussing more stocks. We won't read out the stock prices just yet because they are at the moment a little too wavered. The commodity stocks seem to be doing well, but we will come back to it in just a bit. Mayuresh, are there any of these commodity plays that you would buy at all? Say either the steel varieties, or for that matter, even any of the oil stocks, any commodity play at all?
So clearly, when it comes to the metals pack, Lata, I think it is still going through painful times, and the painful times might continue as long as the disruption probably remains on the global side and the realizations probably remain weak. So clearly, I think it's a double whammy that these companies face, and though valuations for a lot of these companies might look attractive, the cycle probably has not turned for the better. So I think staying cautious on the metals packs per se. On the oil side, I think on the OMC part specifically, IOC is something that we kept on liking. BPCL is something that someone would look on declines as well with the kind of E&P portfolio that it has got. But IOC, with the capacity expansion that it has done at Paradeep, the Nelson complexity of the new plant at 12.2, which basically means that the kind of throughput that one expects and the kind of margin improvement that one expects from the Rio refinery should start coming through over the next couple of quarters. Clearly, this is one stock that we liked on declines, and this is some stock that we'll still continue to like on declines in terms of both the business outlook as well as valuations.
Okay, Sudarshan, thanks, Mayuresh. Sudarshan, for your take on Reliance. Actually, from what 820 levels, that stock has just been going up and up, nice rising bottoms and rising tops. But today there was some negative possibility of a negative news in terms of a report from a management consultancy about the ongoing feud between ONGC and Reliance. Chartically, how does that stock look?
See, on the charts, the current dip is a buying opportunity once this decline ends. Now, I cannot comment on the news and the impact of news, but I think it will be very short-lived. So, a decline in Reliance is a buying opportunity. Every time it comes to 800, it finds support. So, for a long-term investor, you have a strong base from which it bounces. It's a buying opportunity certainly for long-term investors. And anyone doing swing trading short term should be looking to buy any day the stock starts showing strength.
All right, well, a couple of other stocks that do deserve mention in pre-opening. One of them is Cox & Kings. It's up 7.5% in pre-opening. You just heard the management tell us that they've sold the adventure tourism business for 260 crores. So that's an up move there. Delta Corp is up almost 4% in pre-opening as well. It has been granted its license finally for its casino in Goa. So this is the first onshore casino license in Goa that Delta Corp has got. So straight away that will be in revenue generation for them, up about 4.5%. And on the downside, you have a TVS Motor, where the stock is under pressure after the sales growth has been paltry this time, just 2.5%. 2.5%, so TVS Motor is in the red. But Mayuresh, yesterday we saw a lot of these fertilizer companies rise quite a bit, 15-20% gains. There's some news that the government is looking to increase the profitability of the fertilizer companies. But would you as a long-term investor look at any of these names, or would you stay away?
No, clearly stay away, Sonia, and clearly I think what has happened with these companies is the mood question. I think the profitability itself is not there, and how is the government going to turn it around? I think the government subsidies is a huge burden on them, and again I think the kind of under-recoveries that they've got is quite humongous. So the government fixes the subsidy price, and again I think the selling price is not determined by the companies themselves. So I think the profitability is no way going to improve for a lot of these companies. So clearly I think I'm going to stay away from the entire pack, at least at this point of time.
Okay, now perhaps we can take a look at the rates. Ashok Leyland is starting fairly higher. Actually, Ashok Leyland, Sudarshan, is that a positive, a stock you would buy?
Yeah, since I'm upbeat on the Nifty, and with every passing day, my strength my ability of the Nifty to go up, that strength goes on increasing.
Okay.
I would be an buyer in Ashok Leyland. It's on the verge of making lifetime new highs.
Yep, looking good today, and all those commodity stocks are also just getting a little bit of leg up in pre-opening rates. Vedanta is up 2%, Tata Steel up 2%. Okay, Tata Motors, the DVR is up about 1% or thereabouts. Sun Pharma, Kedila are among the other stocks that are doing well. So besides the metal stocks, it's the drug stocks that seem to be doing well. Let's do one thing. Before we discuss more of the pre-opening moves, let's get you one wealth generating idea from our CNBC TV 18 market wala SP Tulsian. Hear him out.
Marathon NextGen is a realty company which is operating in Mumbai city, and they have developed Peninsula Corporate Park in Lower Parel, where the company is still holding the unsold premises in the forms of offices, commercial premises, on which the company is yielding an annual income of about 50 crore, and that is forming the major part of their bottom line. And if we go by their other joint venture projects, they have a strong presence in the Navi Mumbai, Mulund, and one project of Khatau Mill is being developed in joint venture with Adani, which is a upcoming residential project, and the work on that is going on in full swing. Recently, company has acquired the land of about 24,000 square meter, which can give them a saleable area of about 10 lakh square feet from their group company at on the profit sharing ratio. That is, they will be paying 12.5% of the sale proceeds to their group company, which seems to be quite reasonable and will not block their investments in the land buying projects and all sort of things. And if you go by their financial performance, first half had a PAT of about 17 crore, yielding an EPS of 9 rupees against PAT of 38 crore for whole of FY15. That means a similar kind of performance can be expected from the company for whole of FY16. The company is a debt-free, totally debt-free company. They have an equity of 19 crore with a face value of rupees 10. Net worth at present is 560 crore. Book value is 295 rupees. That means share is available below book value at 234. And board of the company has recently proposed bonus share of 1 bonus for every 2 shares hold. So going with this, all their financials, and if you see the net worth of 560 crore, that has been entirely booked into the joint venture and other yielding projects, which I have referred, where the annual income of the 50 crore is coming in the form of rental. So all these things makes this real estate quite attractive, and if one can hold for a period of about 6 months, can expect a price of 300 rupees on the stock.
All right, so that's a well-generating idea from Mr. Tulsian. Let's get back to some stock picking. Hemant, I wanted to ask you about the metal stocks. I think you spoke about Tata Steel. What's the call that you will take on Vedanta? Even that one has been rising, and we saw some fresh long additions yesterday.
See, Lata, as I said, it's across the board. So I have seen metal counters adding OI, and Vedanta is no exception, and I think it's now ready to move at least 3 to 5% from here on. And in fact, I can't comment on Hindalco. Otherwise, it's across the board. which I have seen additions yesterday. So Vedanta 99.50 and 100.50, that's 1 rupee where I face the resistance will come in, but at least it can move till 100 on the upside. And Tata Steel remains the best of the lot because the OI addition was the highest among it.
And will you short Bharti? I mean, yesterday it fell rather sharply. Today the pre-opening rates are indicating a bit of green, but I guess there are short positions.
See, Lata, I don't know much about Bharti because I did not see so much addition happening on the short side, but definitely I am attracted towards Arcom buying because the way the OI is adding up there, and it's been a stock which has been ignored by everybody. I think that stock is moving now in a strength mode to go up to 81, 82, and I would keep a very tight stop loss there of 75. So within the telecom pack, I think Arcom is ready to outperform, and it's looking quite strong in comparison.
Okay, well, one more stock in pre-opening that you should look at is IL&FS Engineering. That one is up almost about 5%. It's bagged a 675 crore road contract in Bihar. So that's from the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. So IL&FS Engineering has spiked up quite a bit, 7.5% higher there. From the infrastructure lot, Mayuresh, what would your top picks be in the broader markets?
Clearly, Sonia, I think we are liking the EPC theme, and again, I think the government thrust on a lot of these infrastructure projects expected to come through. I think a lot of these EPC players like KNR Construction.
Mayuresh, I think we lost his audio. We'll try and fix that. Actually, let me continue with that telecom argument. Sudarshan, both Relcom and more importantly Bharti.
Well, certainly Relcom has a better chart, but I don't know whether I would like to buy it. I don't know many people who use that service. Bharti is very confusing now. I was upbeat on Bharti, and then there was a sharp decline that broke all support levels. So at this point, I don't have an opinion on Bharti.
Right. Mayuresh, we just lost your audio when you were talking to us about the EPC contractors whom you may buy.
So yes, Lata, continuing the point, I think KNR Construction is something that we continue to like, and again I think it's a mix on EPC and the BOT projects that they are undergoing. It's virtually a debt-free company at 0.1 times debt equity. Earnings are growing at 22%. The execution track record has been good. The revenue visibility in terms of order book stands at 4.3x. So clearly I think even if the premiumization stays at a higher level, I think KNR Constructions is something that we like within the infra space. And continuing with that, I think MBL Infra is something that we like. The management is very, very hopeful of orders worth 2,500-3,000 odd crores. Now if you stack that up with the existing order book, I think the revenue visibility there appears reasonable as well. And if you add in the contribution from BOT projects over the next 3 to 4 quarters, I think it is going to be a value addition in terms of the overall contribution both from the EPC and the BOT side. No further debt is expected to scale up, so I think the peaking of debt equity around 1.6 times on a consolidated basis should largely be done, and with improving cash flows, I think that debt equity ratio should also improve over the next couple of years.
That's an interesting observation. We don't often talk about this stock. Let's allow you all to catch your breath and the markets to settle down. Bullseye, what are our participants? Krish Subramaniam, Pankaj Jain and Manish Sharma recommending today?
My first recommendation is a buy on Triveni Engineering. Target price of 41, stop loss of 38.40. My second recommendation is a buy on Rico Auto, where you're keeping a target price of 46 and a stop loss of 42.90. The third recommendation is a buy on Geometric Software, target price of 182, stop loss of 170. And my last recommendation is a buy on KPIT Technologies, target price of 168 and a stop loss of 154.
First one is long call on BPL Limited with stop loss at 39, target price of 42. Second is long call on Jubilant Life with stop loss at 443, target price of 465. Third is long call on KPIT with stop loss at 158, target price of 166. Fourth and final is a long call on SH Kelkar with stop loss at 212, target price of 225.
Buy call in Vocard at the rate 1690, place a stop loss at 1670 and look for the target of around 1750. Sell call in Axis Bank at the rate 465, place a stop loss at 475 and look for the target of around 450. Sell call in Canara Bank at the rate 270, place a stop loss at 278 and look for the target of around 260.
Okay, he also has a sell call on Exide with a target of 140 and a stop loss at 151 rupees. So that's one stock that has actually been under pressure for a while. So there's a sell strategy there. But let's take a quick recap of the top 10 stocks that our team, the CNBC team, is watching out for. Reliance will be in focus as DNM has submitted the final report on the ONGC Reliance gas dispute.
TVS Motor November sales are adversely impacted by heavy rains in Tamil Nadu, while Hero Motors November sales were up just 0.5% at 5.5 lakh units versus 5.47 units a year ago. Tata Motors November sales down 6.7% at 38,918 units. Year ago it was 41,720 units.
And in a boost for Walk Hard, the company has received a closure communication from the UK MHRA with regards to the inspection at the Chikalthana facility.
So that would be positive for Walk Hard. Coal India will be in focus as November operational numbers came in yesterday and the production for the month was up 7% on a year-on-year basis.
And good news for Delta Corp as well. The company has been granted a license for its casino in Goa at its Hotel Delton Suites. We just have about 5 more seconds left for the markets to open and looks like the opening will be positive.
Yes, it is. About 0.25% higher. There goes the bell, and it is a 0.27% gain for the Nifty. Sensex up 1/3%. Okay, losing up a little bit, but 7971 settling at below 7970. It's still holding in the green, but not really making that big dash breakthrough to 8,000. It wasn't expected. It's been very mixed global Asian markets, but that's how things are shaping up. Flat to mildly in the green is how you can put it as far as the opening rates are concerned. What's in the green? The commodity stocks. Vedanta, Tata Steel, Hindalco, Coal India, top 3 gainers. In fact, the top 5 gainers you can say are somewhat commodities. If you add GAIL, though it's really just dependent on commodities. But top 5, Vedanta, Tata Steel, Hindalco, Coal India, and then followed by BPCL, so commodities to the 4. Thereafter, you have HDFC Bank and Asian Paints, which are up about 0.7, joined by HDFC as well. M&M is not doing too badly, about 0.5% higher. Maruti Suzuki is just up 0.2. ONGC is up 0.4. That's also front foot. L&T up 0.4. Then come the other banks which have got some minor gains. ICICI Bank, Yes Bank, Bank of Baroda, all of them up just about mildly, 0.25, 0.3, thereabouts. Reliance is actually up 0.14, so the news is certainly not hit. Obviously, it's been doing the rounds for quite some time now, so the market at this point in time not taking a negative view. What's in the negative? Tata Motors, 1.25 lower, Bosch down 0.7, HCL Tech, Infosys, both down about 0.5%, SBI Axis both down about 1/3%, Kane is down a little bit, Hero Motors not down a whole lot in spite of those numbers, down just 0.1. That's it. That's the lot really. A little bit of IT, Tata Motors and a couple of banks not doing too well. Otherwise, index is mildly in the green. See, everything is up about less than 1% or down less than 1%. Very, very rangy Nifty today. Mid caps?
Well, the mid-cap index is also flat with a positive bias, but the stock of the day so far, at least in opening, is TVS Motor. It's down more than 5%, in fact 6% now because of the weak sales. The sales growth has been just 2.5%, and because of the rains in Chennai, they've really lost a lot of sales. 15,000 units has been the loss for them this month because of the rains. So TVS Motor is the stock to look at this morning. The tire space is doing very well. JK Tires was up about 6% yesterday. It's up another 8% today, and big volumes getting traded on JK Tires. SEAT, as we told you, has inked a distribution agreement with Pirelli, so that's a positive for SEAT. It's up 2.5%, and Apollo Tires has come back into the traders ambit, so Apollo Tires too is up in the green, up 1.5% or so. Treehouse Education is another stock that has been very haywire for the last couple of days, but ever since there were clarifications from the management, that stock has been moving in one direction, and that's upwards, so another 10% higher on Treehouse. ILNFS Engineering has won that 680 crore order road contract from Bihar, so that stock is now up 11%, so big move coming in on ILNFS Engineering this morning. And Delta Corp as well has been granted a license for the casino in Goa, so that stock is up 3%. Cox & Kings has sold its adventure tourism business for 260 crores, so that stock is in the green, up 1.5%. And then you have names like Walk Hard, that are in the green as well. By the way, Lux Industries, it's day 2 of the trading for Lux Industries on the NSE, and it's not bad. Another 4% higher for that stock. So it's moving in tandem with many of its peers in that innerwear space. That stock is looking good. So it's all about individual stocks.
What are the volumes
today
in Lux Industries, if we can get that as well? It's been suffering more on volume account than anything else. But okay, up 4%.
2,000 shares, Lata. Yesterday was quite good actually towards the end.
Okay. So it took its time to warm up. In any case, what's your take on the markets, Anuj? Just a mild green opening as far as the first 5 minutes are concerned.
Yeah, I mean it's become way too predictable actually now. You know, the market is opening flat, not doing too much, but mid caps are outperforming. My sense is, one of the two events will happen either today or tomorrow. Either the mid caps will also fall because the gains cannot go on for so long, or the market will break out. One of the two events should happen over the next 2 or 3 days, Lata, maybe even as early as today, because this game is getting too predictable, and when the market becomes too predictable, normally there's a bit of a twist in the tail.
Okay, I believe the JLR numbers have come now. While I leave Ekta to get that mail and ponder over it, or you already have them? Sorry, Sonia. Okay. Do you have the numbers, or just wait for you to analyze them?
Yes, the numbers have come, we understand, and there's been a good growth, 55% growth in the volumes of JLR. This is for the US market, and US has been doing very well, as we all know. It's actually helped, battle the slowdown in markets like China. Land Rover sales have gone up by almost 80%, and Jaguar sales, however, are down by about 15%. But overall, the numbers are looking quite good for the US sales. But we get the entire JLR sales numbers on the 15th of the month, so we'll await those to get the the full picture. But for now, the US numbers are looking quite good.
Okay, let's just pull up the stock again. Okay, there's a bit of a spike coming in. Tata Motors was the biggest loser when the market started. It was down about over 1%, but those numbers and that news is boosting it a little bit. Well, actually, Bank Nifty is a bit of an underperformer. Okay, actually, it's neck and neck with Nifty at this point in time. Sudarshan, all those PSU stocks, is the play over, or you stick with them? The BOBs, SBIs, unions, OBC, so many of them ran, Andhra.
Or you stick with them. They see these dull days will come everywhere they come. The base building process, the breakouts from the base tells us higher levels are coming. And I think a much easier way is to focus on the Nifty. If the Nifty holds on to 7900, stays above it, I wouldn't worry about the bull case.
Okay. Do you track a stock called IL&FS Engineering, Sudarshan?
No, I don't track it, although I just heard you say and on the channel that it's up 10%. Good for it, but I don't track it.
Okay. Though, chartically it seems to show lower highs and lower lows. Any other stocks you're spotting, Sonia?
Yes, in fact, there are a couple of more stocks. Sudarshan, we were talking about some of these auto ancillary companies, some of the tire makers. What would your view be on something like a JK Tyres or anything else in that space that catches your eye?
See, CEAT and JK Tyres are both giving us signs of a short-term up move. CEAT was part of our buy list yesterday, and I think there is more upside here. Apollo Tyres is a little lagging behind, but these are trading moves. I wouldn't say that a new sustained up move is coming. The meaning then is that you have to take your profits at some point and get out.
And finally, Sudarshan, before we let you go after this first round, TVS Motors. It's peaking off from that 300 level, I think, for the second time. What's the trade?
Well, the take is that you let it fall. It's falling today, and at some point it will stop falling. And when it stops falling, you go and buy it.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for staying us through the opening trades and giving us a bunch of trading ideas. Sudarshan, Mayuresh, Hemant, thank you very much for joining us. Sonia, maybe you want to recap Sudarshan's
Yes,
strategies.
in fact, there are plenty of strategies that Sudarshan has given us. Although the market is flat, he's recommended a buy on some heavyweights like HDFC Bank with a stop loss of 1073 and a target of 1098. He also has a buy on Asian Paints this morning with a stop loss of 835 and a target of 874. He has a buy on Shriram Transport with a stop loss of 870 and a target of 900. And Voltas is also a buy with a stop loss of 288 and a target of 303. Z Entertainment is a buy as well with a stop loss of 408 and a target of 430. And Adani Ports is his only sell call today with a stop loss of 266 and a target of 257. Right, Delta Corp is the other stock that has been in focus because the company has been granted a license for its casino in Goa.